Today on my channel, we are going to be creating these 4 candle candelabras for about only $19.22, which is a fraction of the cost that you will be able to find these items for online. Not only are we going to be creating them, but I'm going to show you how to make these items very versatile. Stay tuned. For this project, you will need one 7 1/4 inch cylindrical vase. You will need one 7-inch flower vase. You will need 1 pack of these plastic crystal cut salad bowls. You will also need 2 of these glass tapered candle holders, all from the Dollar Tree. You will need 4 of these short tapered candle holders. I got these from Amazon.com. You will also need any embellishment of your choice. I am using the flower embellishment. You will also need 1 pack of display easels, the small ones, and 1 8-inch crystal cut dinner plate. You will need some crystal garlands, any garland of your choice, and I am topping mine off with these crystal pendants, and I will leave all of these items with links in the description box. Of course, you'll need your handy dandy tools. Let's get crafting. So the first thing that we're going to do is get all of our plastic cut bowls prepared with our small candle holders in them. We are going to be using 4 for this project, for each of the bowls, for each of the candle holders. And what we have to do is affix each candle holder into a bowl. And how we're going to do this is we're simply going to go in with our E6000 glue on the bottom of each of these candle holders, not too much. And then we're going to give that a double tap with our hot glue to ensure that while that E6000 glue is curing, of course, that hot glue is going to give us the right now stick that we need so that we can continue working. And the reason why we're doing this first is that these candle holders will have some additional time to cure in the meantime while we are continuing to work on our candelabra. So the next thing that we're going to do while we're waiting for those candlesticks and bowls to dry is we are going to separate our easel display using our soldering gun that we used when we were creating our crystal chandelier. Now, today, we're going to be using another one of the attachments that came with it. And this attachment actually looks like a little knife. And right now, I have that soldering iron turned all the way up to 450 degrees. And so as you can see, sorry that I'm off screen or out of frame for a little while, but as you can see, all I'm doing is just going along the edge of that hinge, cutting as I go, or rather slicing as I go, and allowing the heat of that knife or soldering iron to do the job. And once I have gotten those pieces off, I'm just going to go in with my finger very carefully because it's still warm to the touch a little bit, and I'm going to peel off the parts that we no longer need. Now, of course, a hinge is 2-sided, and so now we're going to have to continue the process on the other side of our easel, just going in with that hot knife, slicing slowly, allowing heat and gravity to do the job. And once we have gotten to a place where I think that I have cut deep enough where the rest of that plastic is just going to come off with the weight of my finger, then I'm just going to peel it off. As you can see, it's still a little warm, but it has done the job. And so what I'm gonna do is just clean up any of those fronds that might still be there, and then we will move on. Now that we have separated our display easels into 3 separate parts, what we're going to do now is use that same soldering iron to make holes, the holes that we're going to use to string our crystal garlands. And if you look very closely, there is a little etch of a hole right there, and that's all I'm going to do is just follow that pattern on each of these, let's call them hands, easel hands, now that we have taken them apart. One on the top, one on the bottom, again still on 450 degrees. So if you are going to be duplicating this, please, my darlings, be careful with your fingers. And now that we have created the holes that we need to string our crystal garlands, all it is a matter of getting those ready. Now I have already measured mine the way I wanted them. Those pendants came on a chain of 3 crystals and the pendant, and then I added them to a chain of 7 crystals. And for the chain that I'm going to use to go around these hands, I have separated them into a chain of 20. And so all I'm doing here now is opening this ring. And yes, guys, I know my nails and I have the tool, but I just thought this would have been faster for me on video. And since it's only 3 of them that I have to thread, it's gonna be okay. But just threading this hook through the hole that we just created and looping it to make sure it's all the way attached, and just continuing that process until all of our crystals are threaded. So now that we have threaded all of our crystals, here you see them, the ones with the pendants hanging at the back and the loops hanging at the front. Now it is time for the most tedious and slow part of creating this candelabra. And so what we're going to do now is affix those easel hands using our Gorilla Glue. And to do this, we are simply going to put a dab of that Gorilla Glue down on the 2 legs that you can see there. And once I have done that, again, excuse me for being out of frame, but once I have done that, I am literally going to sit here for 5 minutes holding that hand in position until it sets. Now, one thing I learned is even after the 5 minutes, I still had to go in with a little bit of hot glue to ensure that that hand stayed in the right place. So when I'm finished with the rest, I will come back so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so now that we have strung our beads, as you can see, connecting them one to the other and having 3 of them hanging free form with their pendants, what we are going to do is now start to build up our candelabra. And to do this, we're going to be using our Gorilla 2-part epoxy, because we're going to be gluing glass on glass. And as you can see here, all I'm doing with my short little popsicle stick is I'm going around the edge of that candelabra, making sure not to get too much of it so it's falling in on the inside or falling out on the outside. And once I have placed that glue around the edge of that candle holder, I am going to take my little level to ensure that both that plate and that candlestick is level. Once I have done that, I'm going to continue the process, because this Gorilla Glue, there is a time. Once you mixed it, you have up to 5 minutes to use it. Otherwise, the potency diminishes very quickly. And so what I'm doing is putting my glue on the outer edge of the top of that candle holder so that I can turn it upside down on the candle holder that is already there. And once I have done this, I'm going to go in with my level once again after I have applied some pressure and made sure that these two candle holders are secure one on top of the other, using my level, and I see that that is not leveled in the least. However, like I said, since I have to make sure I have used all of the glue that I have made, we are going to continue to layer this candelabra, and I'm telling you in advance, by the end of it, it worked itself out and everything was level. And so now the last thing that we're going to do is continue in the same way, placing that Gorilla Epoxy on top of the outer edge of that upside down candle holder. And once we have done that, we are going to place our cylindrical vase on top of that candle holder, complete with our easel hands and our crystal garlands that we have threaded. All right, here is the last set of glue. And now we're going to take our cylindrical vase and we're going to rest it on top. And really and truly, this is very easy because those two items are almost the same diameter. And so as you can see, I'm not going to mess with it too much. I'm going to leave it right where it stands. And then I'm going to leave this to cure for the 5 or 10 minutes that it needs, and then we will be back to continue this process. Now, using my level, you guys can't see it, but yay, it is leveled all the way. So now that we have prepared our candelabra to receive the final vase that we're going to be putting on this, I have again mixed my Gorilla Glue Epoxy, and now what I'm doing is I'm going around the very edge of that cylinder with that epoxy. Now, for some reason, this batch came out a little bit more runny than expected, and so I don't know if you can see, it's already starting to dribble down on the inside, but I will be able to cover that up and you will see how I do that in the outro. But the part that you did not see was I took that flower embellishment and I went around the bottom of that cylindrical vase just using my hot glue in very strategic places to cover up the bottom of that vase, because in truth and in fact that vase is empty. So just to give it another dimension or another layer of pizzazz, I chose to use the flower embellishment there. And as you can see, I have placed my vase on top and I'm putting a little bit of pressure to ensure that it stays in place. I will set it to dry for the 5 minutes that it needs. So here we have our vase that we have just placed, and I have left my level on there for you to see that in truth and in fact we have leveled our candelabra. And so now what I'm going to do is take those bowls that we prepared with our short tapered candle holders, and we are now going to place them on our easel hands that we separated. And to do this, all we're going to do is go in with our E6000 glue, and then we're going to give it a double tap of our hot glue to ensure that while that E6000 glue is curing, say with me my darlings, that hot glue is going to give us the instant stick that we need to continue working. And very simply, I am just looking for the center of that bowl. So half is hanging off on the left, half is hanging off on the right. And by the time those two glues work together and cure together, we will have a secure and tight fit of those bowls. So here we are. I'm showing you again what I did. Just going in with my E6000 glue, giving it a double tap of my hot glue, taking another one of the bowls that we prepared from the very beginning of this video, looking for the center or the half of that bowl, setting it down, applying some pressure, and waiting until that hot glue has set. Now I'm going to finish the third hand and then I'll come back to show you what it looks like. And so here we have it, darlings, our final bowl that we need to affix on top of our 7-inch vase. Now, I am not going to affix this using my E6000 or even my Gorilla Glue. I am simply going to go in with a few beads of hot glue because I want to be able to get into that vase to change out those or that centerpiece or those embellishments anytime the need arises. And so the only way I thought to do this was to go ahead and use my hot glue. When the need arises, I pop it off, I change it out, I put some more hot glue, and we're good to go again. So now I'm going to clean this up, set the table, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like. And here you have it, my darlings, our 4-candle candelabra that we just created today for a total of about $19.22, just counting the items that we used, not necessarily the things that we had to buy in bulk. But here you have it. This is a prototype that I created from my sketch, and based on this did not change much at all compared to the one that we created today using mostly Dollar Tree products and a few items, of course, from Amazon.com. And here is the one that we created today together. I think we nailed it, guys. These are awesome. And the one thing that I like about these is, like I said, with that top bowl and candle holder being able to be taken off and put back on, we will be able to change this candelabra to fit our every event and our every mood. So this is very versatile. For just a fraction of a cost of what it would take us to actually purchase one of these, we can use these items time and time again at our heart's desire. Listen, my beloved, if you have found value in this project that we have created today, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, as well as leave me a comment in the comment section below. To my Danny's darlings, I want to say, as usual and as always, it has been a pleasure working with you guys today. If you are not yet a Danny's darling and would like to consider joining our ever-growing community of DIYers, please be sure to click the subscription button below, as well as click the notification bell to ensure that you will be made aware of every time one of my videos have been updated or has been. Listen, it has been a pleasure working with you guys today, as well as learning from you guys. And until next time, I will leave you with this: why buy when you can DIY? My loves, take care, be well, and until the next time we speak, know that I love you guys. Bye now.